Hey folks, how you doing? We're in Central Texas, headed up to Medina Lake. It's got to be just about our most favorite park of all the Thousand Trails. And we got here in early December, and it's beautiful weather. And we thought we'd got away from all the cold weather, but we was in for a little bit of a surprise. As you can see, coming into Medina Lake, it's sunny skies and a few clouds and stuff up there. Just as we was turning in, I noticed a little snowman out in front of the ranger station, and we had to double check that, and it led to a little bit of a surprise a day or two later. The sights here at Medina Lake, most of them are nice and large. The trees, the roads are kind of a little bit narrow, but we didn't have too much trouble in our coach. We was afraid we might, but it worked out great. As probably just about everybody in the country can remember that cold front that come through December to the whole country, especially the Northeast. Well, it even got us down here in Central Texas. And as you may have saw in one of the previous videos, we got just the #1 spot in the whole park. Full hookups, probably 60-70 feet long, and it was just right on the lake. Right out the front window we saw deer running across the road and across the park all day long, a dozen times a day. And right across the street between our coach and the lake was a perfect place to fly the drone. I made a little drone video, and I flew it not every day, but every couple of days. It's just perfect where I didn't bother anybody. I could, quite often I'd run across a deer, 2 or 3 deer here or there. I always tried to keep the drone far enough away so I didn't disturb them too bad. A couple of times the noise of it, they probably hadn't heard that before, and they'd run off a few feet, but pretty much I stayed out of their way. And we just had a great time. I gotta say, this Pearl and I are just enjoying this living full time in our RV and traveling around the country. So, I mean, it's just perfect. We, this summer, this is January 2018 as I'm making the video. And this summer we're going up the East Coast, and we're going to winter in Florida this coming up winter, 2018 and 2019. And after that, we may get tired of it and want to settle down and get a place somewhere. But having something like this, a new front yard, every week or two is just awesome. And you folks watching this video, hopefully it gives you some insight into if it'll work for you. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down here. We'll be glad to answer them. And if you got any suggestions, send them our way too. So hope you enjoy the rest of Medina Lake, and we'll be heading down a little bit further south for some warmer weather here in a few minutes.
Sand underneath our feet, the morning's just begun. I don't remember much from the night before, just from the human touch, and now I want more.
The albino is across the street. How cool is that? This is my first time seeing him. Hi! There it goes. Oh, how cool is that?
Something about tonight, now it's gonna be your last. And now my mind is a mess, my heart is pounding fast. Oh, I wish that you could stay.
Look at that.
I don't care about the other one, I don't care about what you've done. Oh, I wish that you could stay.
That's cool.
We're down in South Texas. We drove from San Antonio down to McAllen, Texas, and we are in, these are Encore parks. We have a couple of Encore parks in our Thousand Trails package. And we have 5 Encore parks, and this is 2 of them. And we're bouncing back and forth from country sunshine to tropic winds, 3 weeks at each spot. And these are totally different. There's no lakes or streams or anything here. They're designed to come and for snowbirds to come and spend the winter. Virtually everybody's here for 3 or 4 months, I think. And a lot of folks have, they bought these little modular homes. And I guess half the park is made up of modular homes, and then it's just stacked in there. You have a nice amount of square footage for each space, but they're just stacked in like sardines. Everybody's nice and friendly. The pace is a little bit slower. They have a lot of activities. They've got volleyball games going, pickleball, shuffleboard. They got little remote control race car tracks, dances. Had a big New Year's dance. They have a lot of activities. One of the real good things about the Encore parks down here is people are staying here longer, so they're set up to receive mail and UPS and FedEx packages and all day. You're supposed to stay here 30 days to get a mailbox, but we were here 21 days and they said no problem. They gave us a mailbox, and the UPS guy had no problem finding us and bringing us our stuff. We can get more stuff. There's a lot of advantages to Encore, but Thousand Trails has got a lot going on too. I'm not sure. I think Encore is really a little bit higher end park. They have one at Lake Tahoe that we stayed at, and it was really nice. So kind of combination.
Plus, these guys are Mexican spider monkeys. Espanol only, please. And you'll see why they're called spider monkeys. He can actually use it.
We went to the zoo in Brownsville Zoo, and that was great. We took a behind the scenes tour, which was a lot of fun.
So these are Western gray kangaroos. Somebody had commented that they look very wallaby-like. Some of the smaller ones are definitely the size of a wallaby. But there's 3 different varieties of kangaroo. There is a Western gray.
I'm thinking this is the guy you don't want to step on you.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
No, they kind of just flush it down afterwards, put away the book. So there's a lot of oddities in nature, like places where deer will eat squirrels or rodents. It happens, but
The whole thing. What a pretty.
Like rhinos, also known as square-lipped rhinos. They're called square-lipped rhinos because if you look very, very closely to their snout, it is very flat. These animals are grazers. Much like cows, cattle, they eat grass off of the ground. So those square lips make it easier for them to eat up against the ground because those lips fit perfectly over the ground. And it kind of maximizes the amount of grass they pull up with each bite.
Well, if you know Pearl, she would have fed the rhinoceros too if they'd have just let her. She could have picked up that bale of hay, but luckily they wouldn't let her in the pen. They had they fed us lunch. It's a real nice Mexican dinner, and the first time I've ever ate guacamole. It's always looked yucky to me, so I never really tried it, but I tried it today and pretty good. They showed us several different animals and stuff. and talks a lot about, you know, wildlife conservation, and it's really a great zoo. And we went to South Padre Island is here. We've gone over there and spent a day. I'm sure we'll be going back more. We're about, the first spot was at in Country Sunshine. We're probably 50 miles from the ocean, but where we're at now in Tropic Winds, we're only 25 miles or something. So it's a great beach, nice little beach. And there's even some campsites there. We may pull out early and go spend a few days or so there on the island. Where you going, Tinker? Hey, buddy. We plan to go to Old Mexico. There's a tourist town there that's got 5 or 6 blocks of just all kind of stuff. They said that's very interesting and stuff to buy. I don't really know what, but they said you got to go. But in watching TV, they got a travel warning out for Mexico and said 5 states do not go into because of the drug cartels and stuff. And so I looked up to see where they were, thinking this place would be fine, but it's got the whole border down here in the red zone. So we're not going, I don't think we're going to make the trip across. We're doing just fine where we're at. Went to an RV show. We looked at, found like a $20,000 bumper pull trailer that's probably 22 feet or something. It's not very long. Looked at a couple of real nice fifth wheels. They were $40,000 to $60,000, I think. And we looked at 2 or 3. They had some of these little modular homes that these places that Tropic Winds and Country Sunshine have got. They had maybe 3 or 4 models that we looked at. They're nice and small, and I mean, that's something we might think about when we get a little older if we quit traveling. I doubt it, but you never know. It sure is nice to be down here where it's nice and warm. It's yesterday it was 80 degrees here, and I think it was in the 30s and 40s dang near everywhere else, or less. So it is, in the wintertime, it's a pretty nice spot. That pretty much wraps up where we're at now. We're at Tropic Winds. We're got another week or 2 weeks here, and then we head back to Country Sunshine. And that's about it. So if you liked the video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments, suggestions, questions. That information we got, we'd love to share it. And if you got some information to share with us, we'd appreciate it. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Any questions or suggestions are always welcome. And that's about it. I think we're going to take the dog for a walk. So we'll see you down the road. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hope I'm done.